That's actually unnecessary gear use. The most unnecessary gear use, if you use gear to achieve something that's naturally possible, using gear and looking natty is embarrassing, if you ask me. That's also why I don't get the idea of fake natties. It's like, aren't you taking gear to look not natty? And then when you obviously look not natty, then you're claiming natty. Like, someone feels like you're trying to insult you. I don't know.
So I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream at the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey.
Hello, my beautiful crew members, newcomers, but most importantly, my beloved OGs. Welcome to another video. I'm your host. My name is Lucy, aka Lucifer, and I'm a former obese girl turned bodybuilder. I figured today we could continue with something. I started with the members, which is look at some Reddit stories. We started off with some dating related stuff, so we can continue there. And then maybe move on to some other things as well. And if you haven't already, I would very much appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button. Our crew always needs more members, especially if they're as handsome and strong as you. So it would be great to have you on board. But now, without any further ado, let's check out what the bodybuilders of Reddit are saying. The first post says, going on a first date with a huge female bodybuilder. Should I be worried? Let's find out. I finally sealed a date with a girl I have been chatting with for a couple of weeks. She is a female bodybuilder with much bigger muscles than myself, and that's all well and good, but I'm a little nervous. I was cycling through our initial banter to remember what we had talked about, and there was a section where she was talking to me about what she could do with her strength. I reread a part where she said she can crush my head between her rock-hard thigh muscles. I get a sense that she's a dominating type, and though it was just playful fun, I'm a little nervous knowing that she is indeed capable of doing that to me. I feel like making sure that she was joking about that so I can feel safe, just in case we decided to take things to the bedroom. Am I making a bigger deal about this than I should, or am I justified? This is super interesting because what bro found himself here is exceptionally rare and a lot of guys' dream. Every female bodybuilder knows that there are a lot of skinny guys or guys that don't really work out much that are very interested in large women with a lot of muscle that are stronger than themselves, and they want to be, with someone who can physically overpower them. But I don't know, it's probably overgeneralizing, but most women or a lot of women like it, obviously, if their man is the more stronger one and the more dominant one. So it is exceptionally rare to find a female bodybuilder that is also more dominant. In fact, I think this is the first time I have heard a first-hand attest of that being existing at all. So he should count, if he's into that, he should count himself really lucky. Like, I'm sure a lot of men envy him for this opportunity. But yeah, it's really cute that he is intimidated like that, a bit scary, like, hold on a minute, she could actually crush my skull. Which is interesting. Usually, I get that from the female perspective more often, that when you're going to a date with a man that you don't know super well yet, and they are big and strong, and you're like, better meet in a public place type thing and be safe. So it's very interesting to see a man experience that, where he is interested in someone, but also kind of intimidated by the fact that they could easily, damage him, so to speak. That's usually something us women have to consider and think about. So it's very interesting to see a man go through that. But yeah, in this specific sense, it is just also very cute. I hope that it worked out between them. We're going to read the comments in a moment. But yeah, he found something very rare. and I hope it goes well. But hopefully there's an update in the comments somewhere. But let's see what people have said to this. Directive 19 says, I lift and do strongman competitions. I'm not huge, but I have muscles. One of my least favorite things, dudes who find out how I work out saying, oh, I bet you could kick my ass. Now, I might be able to, but that's not what I want to do. I'm a snuggler and a huggler, and I'd much rather be thrown around than do the throwing. This is what I mean. This is probably where most girls are coming from, in my estimate. Obviously, I'm sure there are others out there, but yeah, most of us girls like to be the girly girl in the relationship, I guess. Now, granted, Directive 19 continues, she did give you something to think about with her banter, but don't treat her like a female Arnold. Treat her like a woman you want to get to know better. And if things go down that route in the bedroom, use your words. But don't impute anything on her based on her physique, because she might be a giant teddy bear who just likes the joking. I mean, yeah, it could be that she was just joking, but I mean, if you're flirting with someone, usually you're also, like trying to see if you see eye to eye on things with certain banter, especially when it comes to the bedroom. So, Bloodlust Hamster says, you're making a bigger deal out of this than you should be. If you're worried, don't take her to the bedroom on the first date, but you should talk to her and find out if she's a dom. Looking at it from a female's perspective, essentially every guy they go home with could overpower them and end them if they wanted. And yet we hardly ever hear women complaining like you are. It's your job to vet the person you're talking to vet the person you're taking home to make sure they don't end you. Make sure you do a good job. I mean, this is a very harsh way of saying what I said earlier. This is, usually women have to think about something like that. But I mean, it's okay for him to worry. He's not wrong for that, and especially if, as a man, he has never had to have that thought process. There's nothing wrong with like putting it on Reddit and seeing what people have to say, especially because it's interesting for me to read. But yeah, also a good point that he should probably be clear on whether or not she is actually a dom or not, because usually when it comes to relationships, how someone is inclined will have a big impact on whether or not you guys are actually compatible. A deleted user says, steal her gains while she sleeps and become a monster. Don't do that. She worked hard for those. The Shaker says, bring along a packet of creatine. If things get too wild for you, wave it around to distract her while you make your escape. I mean, yeah, creatine packs are a good bait. They are not super cheap. Let me see, how much was this here? This actually, I bought this new. It's quite nice. I always get the protein from this brand. I'm not sponsored. I wish I was. But this brand, they have amazing protein. But this is also really a nice creatine drink. And yeah, how much did I pay for this? I mean, I got it with discount, but if you buy it without the discount, it's 19 euros. So yeah, costs money. Creatine and protein are definitely, if you're dating or you're looking to date a gym girl, forget about clothes, flowers, or jewelry. Get her protein powder. Get her grocery store gift cards. Something like that will be much more useful to her, and she will be very impressed with you, because those things are always needed. Starlit Way says, as long as you guys set the rules, yes means yes, stop means stops, etc., it's okay. Even if what she said was a joke. Don't go on dates you don't feel comfortable with. Be safe. Absolutely. I mean, you want to make sure you trust the person and only get into a position where they can have their way with you if you have established sufficient level of trust. I think that goes in any particular situation. This comment says, what everyone else said, she's just a person, women deal with this all the time, she's not going to crush your head even if she's a dom, and why are you being such a worrywart? I mean, come on, it's fair to worry if someone's stronger than you. But is she really bigger than you? There are some ripped and jacked girls at my gym, way more advanced than I am, but I'm still stronger in absolute terms, and have more body/muscle mass than most girls, and I'm a skinny rock climber type. Just the nature of testosterone, and that people with smaller frames won't have as much total muscle. A 5'6" girl isn't going to weigh more than 150 pounds, even if she is super ripped. Well, unless, but that's not what we're talking about. It is true that just muscle doesn't automatically equal strength. And usually, a man that has less muscle mass than me, for example, could still be a lot stronger than me simply because he's a man. They do have that. They're a bit overpowered like that. But yeah, it is also true that mass moves mass. That's why powerlifters, for example, it wouldn't do them any good to be lean because it would affect their lifting negatively. The leaner you are, usually the less, well, up to point, the less stronger you are. If you're like really lean, it's really going to affect your strength. That's why as a bodybuilder, towards the end of prep, you get pretty weak in comparison. You just start losing strength. So especially for women, the body fat percentage where we perform best at is a lot higher than it is for men. Like men can sit around, well, depends on the man, but men can sit at like 12-10% body fat and they'll still do fine, where for a woman that would be a bit extreme, and that would absolutely negatively impact how much we can lift and how strong we are. So there is some merit to that. But if this guy is like, for example, doesn't go to the gym and he's not a lifter, and he is also not particularly heavy, as like one of those low protein individuals, a girl that, let's say, he said she's a bodybuilder, so especially if she is on the sauce, can absolutely be stronger than him. I have, I've told that before, the story before. When I was with my ex, I managed. He's 185, 186, and he used to lift, but then he stopped and he had like not the most anabolic lifestyle, let's put it like that. And I became physically stronger than him, and I am 164 centimeters. So he has over 20 centimeters on me, and I still was able to get stronger than him. But probably, again, I am on the sauce as well. So I was able to get stronger than a 185 gentleman who hasn't trained in years. That is, so there is a significant difference, but I'm popping off on a rant here. Let's continue. Lace Corset Dolly says, relax and have fun. She just likes to lift heavy things and then put them back down again. The skill to crush you between her thighs is just to keep you in line. Yeah, but Fretted says, I just remembered a middle-aged female bodybuilder who would jog on a section of my commute in the summer for a few years in a row. She was huge. Wearing a green thongish thing the last year I saw her, with permed hair, and did I say huge, incredibly ripped, but unmistakable woman. She was probably getting ready for a competition. I have fantasized about her many times and hoped she would fall to the ground from exhaustion to give me an excuse to stop and offer to help her. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Don't mess it up. Don't be a pussy. Make sure you treat her like a lady, not some female gorilla. That is very good advice. For all you know, she might be strong but very gentle in the bedroom. But if you ask her, she might ride you like you have never been before. Just make sure you don't break in half and your pole is nicely secured. Well, this is all very good advice. And yeah, as he said, it's not like genuinely big female bodybuilders are a dime a dozen. So yeah, use your opportunity well, I guess. Oh, and we have an update from OP. He says, FYI guys, here's a small bit of banter as an example. Let's check it out. Okay, so it says, no much bigger than this, just more ripped. I crush men's head between my muscular thighs. Okay. So yeah, same thing he mentioned earlier. Someone replied to his post with a screenshot and says, here's what I would do. When things start getting physical, excuse yourself and go to the bathroom. Have a tin of tallow, bear is fine, stored in your slim Levi's. Really grease up your head, so if she tries any funny business, you can wriggle and slip right off a powerful calf and thigh muscle grip. OP says, lol, genius. Yeah, certainly. The Day Sleeper says, don't be a pussy. Do you have any idea how many guys would love to sign off that way? Yeah. Oh yeah, death by snoo snoo. Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure there are many men who would not complain about that. Okay, let's go for a Am I the Asshole? and this one is, am I the asshole for mansplaining fitness? Let's see. I was talking to some people today, and this girl I know was bragging about being 5% body fat and only eating 500 calories a day. And in her words, had been 5% and has only eaten 500 calories for years. Yeah, I mean, anyone who knows anything about how that works would be able to tell that that cannot be true, because she would very likely not be with us anymore. OP continues, this is something that's objectively impossible. 10 to 12% body fat is the lowest a woman can be safely, and that's too for very small amounts of time. If she truly was 5% body fat, she would be gone before she made it to years of having maintained it. Yeah, exactly what I just said. And even 10 to 12% body fat as a woman is already generous. Like, generally speaking, women are healthy between something like 20 and 25% body fat, which is fairly high. Again, like, men can be much lower, but yeah, for us women, we are a bit fat. Post continues. Secondly, she doesn't have visible abs, and if she was 5% or even 15 to 20%, at the most conservative estimate, you'd see abs. So there's just no way. I disliked her making these incorrect claims in front of other people, including some girls who were younger, because I felt like it could enforce some super unhealthy and literally impossible standards. So I explained to the people present that her claims are impossible and cited some credentials I have to back my claim. She jumped in and said she knew her body more than me and that she didn't need to be mansplained to. Oh my God. No, I definitely not the asshole. He did the right thing. I could not have kept my mouth shut either. Absolutely not. It's annoying enough when people are just ignorant and make dumb statements or just like false statement. People often like to underestimate their own body fat percentage. But to advertise eating 500 calories or maintaining exceptionally low body fat to young people, that is not okay. That is not okay. And also, like he said, you will have visible abs if you're that lean. People don't like. I see people training their abs all the time, but to get visible abs, it's literally just how lean you are. And if you're super lean, you will have visible abs. And if you were at 5% body fat, you'd be absolutely died. I don't think I've ever been anywhere near that. I maybe got below 10% last time. I'll put one or two pictures up now of the leanest I ever got. And that was not 5%. And you see the veins on my abs, like they are super dug out. That is very lean, right? And that is not 5% body fat. So if this girl had like not even visible abs, then yeah, definitely not. Like not even 10%, not even 12%, probably not even 50%. Like you would see your abs if you get that lean. That's why people say abs are made in the kitchen. You can train your abs all you want. I mean, if you really progressively overload your abs, you can make them bigger, meaning they might show up a little bit more at a slightly higher body fat percentage, but then you make your waist super wide, which you probably as a woman wouldn't want. But I think I've already talked about that as well. Yeah, let's see what the comments have to say. Riff Stilber says, I'm pretty sure 500 calories per day for years isn't enough to keep her organs running. Admittedly, I'm generally biased against mansplaining, but unless you used a really condescending tone, I don't think this would qualify. Mansplaining isn't be a man and explain something. And it sounds like you were trying to counteract potentially harmful info. That said, it does sound like it was necessarily useful to speak up, since someone who's going on like that is probably resistant to adjusting their worldview. So I'm not sure, but I'm gonna lean not the asshole. Yeah, I very much agree. And it is true, like mansplaining does not mean just a man explaining something. Absolutely correct. And then people are commenting on that comment saying, I'd rather be a condescending mansplainer and explain this in the rudest way possible than stay silent and risk some younger girls believing this BS and subsequently hurting themselves. Yes. Another person says, yes, I'm a woman, and I'd rather someone immediately debunk that before I could even fully take that into my brain. It's amazing how much of the pressure women feel to be perfect comes from other women. Yeah, this is kind of true. When it comes to the whole, oh, you're a man and insulting female bodybuilders, weirdly enough, then it's mostly men. But when it comes to the whole enforcing traditional beauty standards and overly focus on being thin and stuff, that is usually other women. That is usually other women doing that to other women, which is, don't do that. Be a girl's girl. I don't know, why is it like that? Another person says, it's shocking how my fitness pal told me I should eat 1,200 calories being 5'3" with a sedentary lifestyle. Admittedly, I'm actually extremely active and need at least 2,000 daily, but this number isn't just coming from influencers. It's actually interesting. So I'm 5'4", and believe it or not, when I started my fitness journey, I didn't go to the gym right away. I was just doing my little home workouts. I didn't get the biggest amounts of steps in, but I was fine eating 1,500, 1,600 calories in a deficit for extended periods of time, because yeah, some of us smaller girls who haven't yet engaged in metabolism maxing don't actually need to eat that much, it's so jarring when you've been obese or you've never paid attention to how you eat much, what that means to portion sizes. So people say, oh yeah, it's not harder for men or women to diet because obviously men burn more, they're bigger and so on, so they can eat more, and women eat less. But it just comes down to trying to get, like, especially if there are some women that are even shorter than me and don't have the most active lifestyle, your chances to get all your micronutrients and everything in with such small portions, like, you really have to watch what you eat. Like, you don't have any room to, like, how do you fit in a donut here or there? If then it means if one big donut is like your entire intake of calories, like it is more difficult. I think I'm in the camp of it is objectively more difficult for shorter females to diet and hit their macronutrients and their micronutrients because they have so much little to go on. Whereas a man that is eating 2,500 calories or even more, they can easily fit their all the vitamins and micronutrients that they need into their meal and still eat that, and then still have room for, like, I don't know, drink a Coke or have a snack or whatever, and that would not be the case. So if you don't watch what you're eating, it's just so much easier to be malnourished or gain too much weight if you are a short female, which would not happen if you're a man. So yeah, I think it is objectively harder for women in that sense. But again, gonna depend. I mean, for me now, I have low-key solved that issue for myself, because if you just build a whole bunch of muscle, then you can eventually eat more than most grown men. And yeah, so that is the lesson for you. If you're dissatisfied with the amount of calories your body burns and you want to eat more, just go to the gym, build some muscle, then you can eat a whole lot more. Stitch and Roll Crit says, going back in time and showing this to my mom, who tried to put me on a 900 calorie diet but still refused to add protein to our dinners. This is bad parenting. This is the opposite of what I was talking about in the other video I did about parents of obese children. Like, can it really be so hard to just inform yourself on how to feed your child? I mean, I'm not a parent, so you can yell at me for that in the comments or whatever, that I don't know what it's like to be a parent. But I know that if I had a child, I would be absolutely sure I get them quality nutrient and I feed them right. I'm the same with my cats. Okay, let's do one more. This one says, am I the asshole for telling my friend he'll never make it as a bodybuilder? My friend and I are 21M. He's been going to the gym for 4 years and wants to pursue a professional bodybuilding career. As an aspect of this, he wants to hop on steroids. Well, first of all, I think pursuing a professional bodybuilding career is like take baby steps. It takes a while, you're probably not gonna get your pro card right away within whatever. But let's see. OP continues. I think that would be a bad idea because obviously steroids come with the risk of health issues, and I don't believe he would be able to succeed in bodybuilding. So the risk would be for nothing. That I have to say something about as well. If you're only taking gear because you want to win at bodybuilding, or you want to be a pro, or you want to get that trophy, then maybe reconsider, because you can't guarantee that you will be Mr. Olympia or Miss Olympia. And bodybuilding is not a profitable career. In fact, a lot of people don't know this, but bodybuilders pay to bodybuild. It costs you money. You don't make any money. The only people that make money are like 0.05% or something. And even they don't make money from competing. Competing costs you money. There are some shows for the men where they get like decent prize money, but the cost of getting there and the cost of competing is probably almost always in total gonna outweigh that. So if you want to pursue bodybuilding and take gear to turn that into like an income stream, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, yeah, you can be a fitness influencer and whatnot, but still, should that be the reason? I mean, to each their own, but is that really a good enough motivation to do that? Let's see where this is going. OP says, the reason I don't think he'd succeed is, 1, really narrow shoulders and really wide waist. A big part of bodybuilding is getting the V-taper, wide shoulders, narrow waist look. Just due to bone structure, no matter how muscular or lean he gets, he won't have that. 2, a big gap between his 2 pecs and uneven abs, which, like narrow shoulders, wide waist, goes against the aesthetic standard that competitions judges are looking for. 3, he is really, really tall, 6'8", which is a negative when it comes to bodybuilding, since the taller you are, the more your muscle mass is spread out over, and the smaller you look. Yeah, I think I understand what they're trying to say here. Yeah, being tall is a huge debuff because it's going to take you so much longer to fill out your frame. But if you do manage to fill out your frame properly and you are tall, then it's an advantage because that's going to look so impressive. But yeah, it's like playing bodybuilding on hard mode if you're tall. That's why most bodybuilders, not everyone is Samson, most bodybuilders are short. I'm about, Lee Priest is the exact same height as me. I think Derek Lunsford is like a tiny bit taller than me, like a few centimeters. We're usually all pretty short people. But again, this actually plays into what I just said about the reason why you want to bodybuild. It is true, like you can take a look at yourself and be like, hey, I'm not particularly predispositioned to succeed at this, but if you have a passion for bodybuilding and you want to compete and you are passionate about building the absolute best version and most impressive version of yourself that you can and stack that up against others, then I say if that is your passion, don't let anything hold you back, but don't, how do I best say this? I don't want to say like have realistic expectations because I don't necessarily believe in that. I think in bodybuilding it comes to trying to be the best that you can. But again, it's like, what is the purpose here? What are you doing this for? If you are just doing this to have a professional career, again, I think that's a very poor motivation to bodybuild. Unless it is that important to you. But then, like she says, if you are not exactly predispositioned to do that, because especially on a high level, like I think anyone can do pretty well on a local level if they set their mind to it, but maybe even turn pro. But there's a huge difference between that and actually competing at a pro level and stacking up on like against the best of the best. Their genetics play a huge part. And sometimes, obviously, it's like you have to find out along the way if you actually have what it takes. Oftentimes, you can kind of see in the beginning if someone is really having a hard time putting on muscles, obviously not very good. And yeah, having smaller joints is beneficial, and having a smaller waist is beneficial. And yeah, I absolutely agree with this. If this guy is doing it just for wanting to succeed at a pro level, and then he's like kind of nerfed by genetics, and that is his only reason for doing it, then maybe don't do it. But if he's just passionate about bodybuilding, and he wants to take his physique to the next level, and it's that important to him, and he wants to dabble in the sauce. I mean, depends. Yeah, if he really wants to do it and does it with guidance, I mean, yeah, more power to you. After all, bodily autonomy exists. You should decide how you want to use God's gift to you. Let's put it like that. But yeah, let's read the rest of the post. So I feel like he won't succeed in bodybuilding anyhow, and so taking steroids will raise the risk of health issues for no actual gain, since he won't succeed anyhow. Again, I have to intersect already. It's like, that's not, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but that's not why I hopped on the source. It's not, oh, it's worthless if I don't become Miss Olympia or I play with the best of the best. This is about achieving my dream physique. My dream physique. Y'all know what I want to look like. Gonna be female Broly one day. And even if bodybuilding shows disappeared from the planet of the Earth tomorrow, the plan wouldn't change, because ultimately that's not, that's not what many bodybuilders do this for, myself included. Like, it's not about the trophy or stuff like that. Even now, I don't even know if I'm like, it's getting a little bit difficult trying to save up money for the show what I'm doing the prep for right now, let alone trying to go to the pro to qualify afterwards. But to me, it's like, I love prep so much, and the experience, like, even if there was no show, I would probably still do this, because it's the most amazing thing, right? So I think when it comes to gear and stuff, like, you should obviously definitely think about very hardly, is that a word? No, wait, that means something else. You guys understand what I'm trying to say. But I think it has to be like an intrinsic motivation, if that makes sense. It shouldn't be for money or something like that. I say shouldn't be, but I mean, I can't police anyone. If things make you happy, you go do them. But yeah, anyway, let's continue. Since I'm not an expert, I asked a mutual friend of ours who has actually competed in and won bodybuilding competitions, and he essentially agreed with my thoughts. I asked his mutual friend to go with me and talk to my friend about why hopping on gear would be such a bad idea, since it would be for nothing. He agreed, and we talked to my friends. He said we were assholes for saying he'll never succeed in his dream and that real friends would support him. I don't think encouraging him to do something stupid, I don't think encouraging him, I think she means discouraging him. Wait, what? I don't think encouraging him to do something stupid is encouraging. Oh, okay, am I the asshole? Turns out I just can't read. It's kind of difficult to say, because he said it's his dream, but they're making it about, winning shows is the only thing that matters to him on his journey. And yeah, then again, I might be discouraging him as well. And generally, I think, I said it before, everyone should be discouraged from using gear. If you can be discouraged, you should be discouraged, because like shit, it's not the healthiest thing in the world to do. Yeah, you can say partying, getting wasted on weekends is worse, but that still doesn't mean that taking gear is good. It's like, both is poisoning yourself essentially. But I've done other videos on that subject. If you're interested, let's read the comments. Bureaucratic says, not the asshole, but you would be if you brought it up again. Me and my friends have a policy we call the grown-ass person policy, GAP for short, where we give advice once, and if you don't listen, hey, you're a grown-ass person, you do you. You don't have to agree or encourage him, just ignore it. Let him make his own mistakes and learn his own lessons from there. You put him in touch with great resources. You put him in touch with a great resource, he did not care. There's not much more you can or should do. This is also true. You can lead a horse to water. I've had an experience like that as well, where I discouraged someone to self-medicate with gear without guidance. And yeah, he got to experienced the consequences of that as well. And then he was like, yeah, well, oops. And learned his lesson. Okay, Cap says, so you're probably right that he won't win Mr. Olympia, but bodybuilding is about social media now. If he has charisma at all and he's 6'8" and jacked as hell, he will probably make a career out of it. If he works hard, is consistent, yada yada yada. Think about someone like Sam Sulek. Got to be among the most famous bodybuilders on the planet and has never posed in a show. This is from 2 years ago, the post, just to note that. I get not wanting your friends to do schmugs, but you're not going to stop him if he wants to. Gonna guess 10 to 20% of your gym is already on the sauce. Yeah, this is true. There's so many people are on juice and you couldn't even guess. And I think that's actually sad because there's nothing... That's actually unnecessary gear use. The most unnecessary gear use, if you use gear to achieve something that's naturally possible. Using gear and looking natty is embarrassing, if you ask me. That's also why I don't get the idea of fake natties. It's like, aren't you taking gear to look not natty? And then when you obviously look not natty, then you're claiming natty. Like, someone feels like you're trying to insult you. I don't know. I don't know. Weird train of thought, but it's true, isn't it? It's just weird. Anyway, this is not what the post is about. The comment we just read. And yeah, I mean, being 6'8" and extremely jacked would be a sight for sure. And if he wants to try and make it big on social media, more power to you. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I think also more importantly here is, what is his idea of jumping on the sauce? You know, does he have proper guidance? Is he gonna be super careful with it, or is he just of the mindset, oh yeah, let me blast some trend and be the next Sam Sulek? Because there's obviously a range here. 74 Magic says, I was engaged to a bodybuilder. He did gear, the competitions, the ridiculous diet, and you know how much money he made of it all? Zero. And he was the right shape, looked great on stage, and had won plenty of competitions in South America and the US. However, bodybuilding is expensive. Between supplements, food and training, your whole day, your paycheck, and any prize money get eaten up to fund this career. Yes, exactly. This is very true. It's like you have the wrong expectations of bodybuilding if you think it's gonna make you money. That is just not how that works. I wish it was, but it just isn't. I'm personally spending pretty much every spare cent I have, minus the few coffees I treat myself to every week. Besides that goes into bodybuilding, and it's not like it's gonna give you any money back. Like even if you win a show, if it's a local show, you don't get any money from it. You get a cute little trophy, and you might get that with the woman. We get the tiara, which is nice too. But yeah, you have probably spent thousands on prep, competing, all that stuff. So yeah, it is a passion project. That's why I think you're not gonna be happy with bodybuilding unless you're doing this because it's really that strong of a passion, because it does take a lot. But if you're truly a bodybuilder, you're more than happy to give it. But that's also why bodybuilding, like, I think bodybuilding is for everyone, but at the same time, competitive bodybuilding definitely isn't for everyone. Because yeah, that is where the bill gets a lot higher, and not just money wise. Like doing a prep also is like suddenly your time investment with things you gotta do, cardio, this and that, everything just goes up, and then the mental fog, and you're putting your body really through it, and that is just the extreme side of bodybuilding. But like I said before, there is bodybuilding outside of competitive bodybuilding, and I think that can be for everyone, and that doesn't have to be super expensive, that doesn't have to involve gear. You can even compete naturally. There's so much to bodybuilding that doesn't involve taking it that far. But yeah, if you want to take it that far, it just has to be a passion, otherwise you will not last. You have to love it, like you have to enjoy it, because doing something that extreme for that prolonged period of time, if you don't enjoy it, I don't think you're gonna last. Like, why are you making yourself miserable? Another user said many people don't appreciate the difference between being a solid amateur and a high-level pro in any sport. Yeah, this is very true. There is a huge difference. Huge difference. I mean, in any sport, but in bodybuilding especially. Yeah, if you look at, for example, if you look at me winning my last show, and I do women's physique, and then you look at what's going on at the Olympia, that is a world difference, isn't it? I'll put both on screen right now. So yeah, y'all can see, because people sometimes be like, "Oh my God, you look so big and so amazing," and yeah, until you put me next to an actual Olympian, I do. So there is a huge difference. But yeah, it's also so exciting because I still have such a long way to go to where I want to be. Yeah, actually, for now, I think we can leave it here. But let me know in the comments if you like this Reddity excursion, if you want me to do that again or not. And if you want to see the other video where we're checking out Reddit stuff, consider getting yourself a membership. That way, you can directly contribute to the size of my bicep, and obviously support the channel and hopefully help me fund my stage endeavors. But yeah, any feedback always appreciated. Don't want to say anything else. No, I think that's it. Oh yeah, actually, apology. This video was I mean, I haven't settled into a super regular upload schedule yet, but the last few weeks I was uploading Friday, and I was just pretty busy this week. So yeah, today you're getting both the members video and this video. So my apologies for the delay, and I'll do my best to at the moment, I'll just get your videos as soon as I can. And either way, thank you for being here. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.